All right, good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us this Saturday morning. My name is Veronica Ajewale. I am a clinical pharmacist by training, and I am the director for the Community Engagement Core at Texas Southern University.
Buenos días, es la doctora Ajewale, que es una farmacista clínica y además es directora de M.H.A, que es quien ha convocado esta reunión.
This morning, we will be looking at our seminar presentation titled Separating Facts from Fictions, Activate Your Immune System Through Vaccine. And this session is accredited, is an unaccredited session for community health workers.
Hoy vamos a asistir a una sección sobre vacunas, ficciones y realidades, y esta sesión va a ser acreditada para trabajadores comunitarios.
Now I'm going to share a video to briefly introduce ourselves to the attendees.
Ahora vamos a introducir un video para que nos conozcan a los presentadores.
Texas Southern University's Center for Biomedical and Minority Health Research Community Engagement Core is funded by the National Institute of Minority Health and Health Disparity Research Center for Minority Institutions Program. The CEC
el Centro para Estudio de Minorías
can address health-related concerns and reduce health disparities related to ethnic minorities. We provide health education and partnerships with healthcare systems, federally qualified health centers, community and faith-based organizations. For more information, visit us on social media at CEC Texas Southern U, or give us a call at 713-313-1233, or send us an email at cbmhrcommunity@tsu.edu.
Sí, el Centro para las Minorías de la Universidad TSU está fundado por el Centro Nacional para el Estudio de las Minorías y ellos los invitan a participar y ahí tienen ustedes la forma de conectarse.
Awesome. Again, thank you everyone for joining us this morning. We would have question and answers at the end. For those that are joining us online, please post your questions in the Q&A box. For those that are on site, we have question and answer cards that will be passed around by our team members. Feel free to put in your questions there, and our prolific speakers will be able to answer your questions at the end of today's presentation.
Sí, va a haber una presentación primero y luego va a haber una sesión de preguntas y respuestas para aquellos que están en la sala, consulten a la persona de la sala para que lo ponga en el chat, y aquellos que están online simplemente hagan la pregunta en el chat que está al lado de la pantalla.
We want to say a big thank you to all our partners, to the vendors, and the location that we are at our hybrid location. We are currently located this morning at Baker Ripley, where we have attendees joining us in person, and also a community health fair where we are providing numerous health-related services, biometric screening, immunization for adults and children, fun activities, and resources. And we want to say a big thank you to all our vendors. We have all the logos listed on the flyer that I have on this slide. Thank you everyone for supporting our events this morning.
Sí, la doctora Ajewale está agradeciendo a todos los vendedores en esta sesión que es híbrida aquí en Baker Ripley y online. Y en esta feria van a ofrecer vacunación, screenings para salud y otras actividades para la comunidad.
And we also want to say a big thank you to all our sponsors, those that have sponsored our events in the past and that they continue to sponsor us: AFLAC, Walmart, Community Health Choice, DM Clinical Research, Genentech, as well as Vital Medical Partners.
Y gracias a todos los sponsors que están en el slide, como Aflac, Walmart, Genentech, Community Health Choice, Clinical Research, and Vital Medical.
Again, welcome to our August seminar. We have a link to our survey for community members. Your feedback is very important to us. Our team member would post the survey link in the chat box. Please complete that survey so we can receive your feedback. And also for CHWs that would like to claim their credits, there is a link in that link tree for you to complete to be able to claim your CE credits and the CE evaluation. You can either do that by clicking on the link, or for those that are attending in person, you can scan the QR code.
Y todos aquellos que quieran, que están asistiendo, ahí tienen un link en la pantalla, en la sesión de comentarios, y también tienen la posibilidad de obtener ese link a través del QR que se está mostrando en la pantalla, también para obtener créditos para esta presentación.
Now I'm going to introduce our amazing speakers for this morning. We have Rekha Lakshmanan. Rekha is the Chief Strategy Officer for the Immunization Partnership, a nonprofit organization in Texas. She has worked for 4 legislative sessions and successfully advocated for the passage of legislation to improve public health and immunization coverage in the state.
Sí, estábamos hablando con Rekha, no vamos a traducir todo, pero en pocas palabras, ella es la Chief Strategy Immunization Officer para Immunization.org, que es una organización que se encarga de promocionar la vacunación de la comunidad.
And Rekha holds a master's degree in healthcare administration, as well as a bachelor's degree from the University of Texas. Thank you very much, Rekha, for joining us this morning.
Good morning.
Sí, y Rekha tiene un bachelor por la Universidad de Texas, y la doctora M.H.A. le está agradeciendo por haber venido aquí este día.
And this morning, again, we have the awesome pleasure of having Dr. Salvador Lopez to be assisting us to interpret in Spanish language, because several of our attendees are non-English speaking. So we are very excited for the privilege to have Dr. Lopez assist us with interpretation this morning.
Sí, la doctora M.H.A. me agradece. Mi nombre es Osvaldo López. Soy inmunólogo y voy a traducir e interpretar lo que dice acá la señora Rekha, para esperemos que pueda ser un buen rol.
So Dr. Lopez is a retired professor of medicine, and his specialty is in infectious diseases and immunology. He received funding from NIH as well as other pharmaceutical industries. He currently hosts a radio show in Spanish titled The Health of the Community, where it talks about prevention, clinical manifestation, and therapy of diseases affecting Latino, as well as information and health services for the community.
Bueno, gracias a la doctora M.H.A. por sus palabras sobre mí. No la voy a repetir en español, las tienen ahí si quieren verlas.
Awesome. Thank you, Rekha and El Salvador, for assisting us this morning with our presentation. At this point, I will turn it over to Rekha to begin our presentation.
Thank you so much, and good morning, everyone. It is wonderful to be here with you today. As Ms. Veronica said, my name is Rekha, and I am with the Immunization Partnership. Our goal, our organization's goal, is to have a healthy community and be a voice for Texans who want to prevent disease.
Rekha se está presentando. Ella pertenece a la Immunization Partnership, el partnership para inmunizar, y el objetivo de esta organización es tener una comunidad saludable y ser una voz para prevenir enfermedades en los tejanos.
And today we're going to talk about immunization and why immunization is part of good health.
Y hoy vamos a hablar de inmunizaciones y vamos a explicar por qué son importantes las inmunizaciones para nuestra salud.
Next slide. Good health means a lot of different things and takes different forms. It means eating healthy food, washing your hands to prevent germs, and taking time to have a healthy mind.
La buena salud significa muchas cosas. Significa comer saludablemente, lavarse las manos para evitar infecciones y tomarse el tiempo para tener una mente saludable.
But another important part of good health is being protected against different diseases, and we can do that through immunization.
Pero otra parte muy importante de nuestra buena salud es protegernos de enfermedades infecciosas, y eso lo podemos hacer a través de las inmunizaciones.
Next slide, please. Immunization is a tremendous gift. It helps protect people from harmful and deadly diseases. There are so many health heroes, such as scientists and researchers, such as Dr. Lopez, who are continuously researching ways to prevent disease through vaccines to keep us all safe and healthy.
La vacunación es un tremendo logro de la humanidad. Nos permite protegernos de enfermedades peligrosas y a veces mortales. Los científicos son héroes de la salud que están siempre estudiando maneras para protegernos de prevenir enfermedades a través de vacunas para mantenernos sanos y seguros.
And I want to show you a few pictures, and you can see this on the slide. If you see the picture on the top, this is from the 1700s when a scientist named Edward Jenner figured out how to protect people from smallpox disease, and he discovered the first smallpox vaccine.
El cuadro de arriba es un cuadro del 1700 y muestra al doctor Edward Jenner, quien encontró una forma de proteger a la gente de la viruela y con eso logró la primera vacunación.
The two amazing women on the bottom of the slide are vaccine researchers in the US. On the left is Dr. Kizzmekia Corbett, who worked on the coronavirus vaccine.
Las dos mujeres maravillosas que están en la parte de abajo son investigadoras científicas que trabajan en vacunación. La doctora Corbett trabajó en la vacuna contra coronavirus, COVID.
And we are very lucky to have the woman on the right, scientist Dr. Maria Elena Bottazzi, work right here in Houston developing vaccines. And in fact, she is nominated for a Nobel Prize because of her work in researching and developing vaccines.
Y tenemos mucha suerte de tener a la doctora María Elena Bottazzi aquí en Houston, quien está nominada para el Nobel por su trabajo en el desarrollo de vacunas.
Next slide, please. Immunization is a powerful tool for good health. We can protect children and adults from more than 14 different diseases. How amazing is that? Think of vaccines as invisible disease destroyers protecting people every day.
La vacunación es una herramienta poderosa para la buena salud. Podemos protegernos y proteger a nuestros hijos de 14 enfermedades diferentes, y esto es realmente maravilloso.
Next slide, please. You may be thinking, you've said a lot about immunization, but what exactly is a vaccine? There are many germs and viruses in the world which can make you or your child sick, and some of them are dangerous. A vaccine is simply a preventative tool that prevents people from getting sick or reduces the severity of a disease.
Usted debe pensar, Rekha habló de inmunizaciones, pero ¿qué es una vacuna? Hay muchos microbios en el mundo que pueden enfermar a nuestros hijos y algunos pueden ser muy peligrosos. Una vacuna es una herramienta que previene enfermedades para reducir la severidad de una infección.
Let's take a couple of minutes to learn about how germs can make a child ill and how vaccines prevent illness. And we're going to watch a short video.
Ahora vamos a ver un pequeño video que nos va a permitir entender cómo es que los microbios nos enferman. y qué es una vacuna.
Like all parents, Jack's mom and dad want him to be happy and healthy. That's why they make sure he gets his vaccines on time. Jack encounters thousands of bacteria and viruses every day through the food he eats, the air he breathes, and things he puts in his mouth. When one of these germs gets into his body, it can multiply, causing an infection. Jack's immune system fights back by creating antibodies and infection-fighting cells, which protect Jack from illness. Jack was born with an immune system that can fight most germs, but there are some dangerous diseases his body cannot handle. That's why Jack needs vaccines to protect him. Vaccines help his body fight off these germs, providing long-lasting protection from 14 serious diseases. Learn more about childhood immunizations. Visit cdc.gov/vaccines/parents or talk with your child's doctor.
Next slide. So we learned what a vaccine is. Now, how does a vaccine work? When a germ or virus enters our body reacts to that germ by creating antibodies. These antibodies are our defense system that rallies together to destroy the germ or to prevent it from spreading.
Entonces, ¿cómo funcionan las vacunas? Cuando un microbio o un virus entra a nuestro cuerpo reacciona con anticuerpos. Los anticuerpos son parte de nuestro sistema de defensas que sirven para destruir gérmenes y prevenir su diseminación.
Once the antibodies are activated, the body will remember that invader and has a defense shield in case the body encounters that disease again.
Cuando los anticuerpos son producidos, producen un escudo de defensa en caso de que el microbio entre nuevamente en nuestro cuerpo. Aquí vamos a mostrar otro video, ¿no?
Yes, say.
We're going to
show a short video about how the immune system and vaccines.
Yeah.
When your child gets a vaccine, an amazing thing happens. Just like a teacher, the vaccine gives your child a lesson. The immune system gets to work right away, learning what to do if your child is exposed to harmful germs. All of us are exposed to germs every day. Some might cause a cold or a minor illness, but then there are more dangerous viruses and bacteria that can make children very sick. Diseases like measles, diphtheria, and polio used to sicken and kill thousands of children. That's why it's important to get vaccinated, so your immune system will know what to do. Here's how that works. Vaccines contain either an antigen, a piece of the germ, or some instructions that tell us how to make the antigen. They teach your immune system to produce antibodies to get rid of the virus or bacteria. Then those antibodies remember what to do if your child is exposed in the future. Vaccines can work in a few different ways. In some vaccines, the antigen is a virus that has been weakened. This means it will not be able to reproduce in your body to make you sick. But it does a great job of teaching your immune system to be ready for the real thing in the future. Other vaccines use a virus that has been killed, a tiny piece of a virus or bacteria, or a weakened form of a toxin, like the kind produced by the bacteria that cause diphtheria and tetanus. Same thing, it can't make you sick, but it teaches your immune system to recognize the germ. Getting one or more doses of a vaccine later on gives the immune system a memory boost, so it remembers what to do. The recipe for most vaccines is pretty simple. Besides the antigen, some vaccines contain aluminum salts, which help make the antigen work better, so children can get a lower dose. The amount of aluminum in vaccines is small, much less than your child gets from everyday food and water. Some vaccines also include a preservative to keep germs out, and tiny amounts of other ingredients, all very safe. After your child gets a vaccine, their arm may feel sore, or they may get a fever. That's a sign your child's immune system is getting stronger. After the vaccine does its job, it leaves the body and is gone. A week or two later, your child's immune system is better able to protect your child. Remember, vaccines have been given to millions of children and teens. They are closely studied, and we know they are safe and effective. In fact, vaccines work so well, most reduce your child's risk of getting these diseases by 90% or more. It's an amazing way to protect your child so they can stay healthy and safe.
Next slide. We talked about the power of immunization, what is a vaccine, and how vaccines work. So why is immunizing important? Immunizing protects people from getting sick and possibly dying. Immunizing protects people who cannot be vaccinated. Newborn babies, for example, are too young to be immunized against certain diseases, and some people, like people who have cancer, cannot be immunized. The more people immunized, the better the chances of keeping diseases away.
Entonces, ¿qué es una vacuna y cómo trabaja? ¿Por qué es importante inmunizar? Inmunización o la inmunización protege a la gente de enfermedades o posiblemente incluso de la muerte. Además, la inmunización protege a gente que no se puede vacunar. Los niños recién nacidos son muy jóvenes para ser inmunizados para algunas enfermedades y algunos enfermos de cáncer tampoco pueden ser inmunizados. Cuanto más gente haya inmunizada, menos probabilidades de que nos enfermemos como comunidad.
Next slide. So this is a picture showing why immunizing as many people is important. The blue people are healthy people, but they are not vaccinated. The yellow people are both healthy and they're vaccinated. And the red people are not vaccinated, and unfortunately, they are sick and contagious.
Este dibujo nos muestra por qué es importante que haya mucha gente inmunizada. La gente, porque cuando uno se inmuniza está protegiendo a otros. La gente que está en azul son sanos, no vacunados. La gente en amarillo son sanos y vacunados. Y los que están en rojo son no vacunados y que están enfermos y por lo tanto son contagiosos.
If you look at the picture on the left, this is what happens when only some people are vaccinated. The person in the red is sick, contagious, and not vaccinated, and exposes a group of people.
Si se fijan en el dibujo de la izquierda, van a ver qué pasa cuando hay poca gente vacunada. La persona en rojo está transmitiendo los gérmenes a otra gente y por lo tanto la enfermedad infecciosa se transmite muy rápidamente.
The virus spreads, and now we have more red people and a disease outbreak.
Como se ve luego en las flechas en el dibujo de la izquierda, ahora hay más gente en rojo porque no, están infectadas y están produciendo mayor infección en la comunidad.
However, on the right side, if most people get vaccinated, and this is the yellow people, and if there is a virus, the spreading of the virus is contained and creates a protective shield against that virus.
Si miran en el de la derecha, van a ver que hay poca gente que no está, o mucha gente que está vacunada, que son las que están en amarillo, entonces el germen no se puede transmitir tan fácilmente como en el caso anterior.
We call this protective invisible shield community immunity.
Nosotros llamamos a este tipo de escudo invisible inmunidad de rebaño o inmunidad comunitaria.
Next slide. There are many diseases we can protect against. The reason why we want to immunize is because the consequences of these diseases can be devastating. Why do we want anyone to suffer? For example, chickenpox can cause pneumonia, polio can cause paralysis, measles can cause pneumonia, blindness, or even death.
¿Por qué es importante vacunarse contra aquellas enfermedades contra las que tenemos vacunas? Y es porque las consecuencias de algunas enfermedades pueden ser devastadoras. Por ejemplo, gente que tiene, alguien que tiene varicela, la varicela puede provocar neumonía, la polio puede producir parálisis y el sarampión también puede producir neumonía.
And of course, human papillomavirus can lead to cancer in both men and women.
Y el papilomavirus también puede producir cáncer tanto en mujeres como en hombres.
These are the consequences we are trying to avoid. Years ago, I met a woman in her 60s who had measles as a child, and she told me she could not go to school for a whole year because she was so sick. She ended up losing her hearing in one of her ears because of the virus. And this was before a measles vaccine was available. The consequences can last a lifetime, and that's what we're trying to prevent.
Un ejemplo de lo que pasa cuando nos vacunamos lo cuenta la señora Rekha, una persona que estaba en sus 60 cuando la conoció y tuvo sarampión cuando fue niña y no pudo ir por un año a la escuela porque por la enfermedad que tenía, que era muy grave, e incluso perdió la audición en uno de sus oídos. Por lo tanto, esa es la consecuencia de infecciones que son prevenibles por vacunas, que pueden durar por toda la vida.
Next slide. We are fortunate that there are many diseases we can prevent or mitigate by immunizing. There are vaccines across all ages. We vaccinate at a young age to make sure children are protected against disease as early as they can be.
Nosotros ahora somos muy afortunados de tener vacunas para enfermedades que pueden ser prevenidas por inmunización. Hay vacunas a lo largo de toda la vida y vacunamos temprano a nuestros niños para que puedan estar protegidos lo más temprano posible contra estas enfermedades que, como dijimos antes, pueden ser devastadoras.
We also vaccinate as soon as the baby's and children's immune system are strong enough to respond to immunization.
También vacunamos lo más temprano posible cuando el sistema inmune de los niños ya está lo suficientemente fuerte como para poder responder a una inmunización.
The goal is to expose the body to the invader so they can create that immune response to create long-lasting immunity.
El objetivo es exponer a la gente o a los niños los antígenos, como decían antes, del invasor, para que puedan estar protegidos por mucho tiempo.
Next slide. I'm so happy to be here today because the timing of today's event is one of the most important times of the year for immunizing.
La señora Rekha está muy contenta de estar aquí porque este es un importante día para estar inmunizados.
Kids are getting ready to go back to school, and think of immunization as part of the back to school checklist. Do the kids have their backpacks? Do they have their pens and pencils? Do they have their books? And do they have their vaccines?
Estamos ya con los niños preparados para volver a la escuela. Usted debería pensar en las inmunizaciones como parte de la lista de regreso a clases. ¿Tienen sus mochilas? ¿Tienen sus lápices y lapiceras? ¿Tienen sus libros? ¿Tienen sus vacunas?
Next slide. There are a few vaccines kids need to have and should have before they go back to school. Kindergartners need to be up to date on 6 immunizations. They need diphtheria vaccine, tetanus vaccine, and whooping cough vaccine, which is a 3-in-1 vaccine, hepatitis B, chickenpox vaccine, measles, mumps, and rubella vaccine, and hepatitis A for school.
Hay algunas vacunas que los niños deben tener antes de ir a clase. Por ejemplo, los niños en el jardín de infantes necesitan tener 6 inmunizaciones antes de ir a clase. Son las vacunas contra la difteria, tétanos y tosferina, que son tres vacunas en una, hepatitis B, varicela, sarampión y rubiola, y también la vacuna de la hepatitis A.
Middle school and high school students need a tetanus vaccine, diphtheria and pertussis vaccines, again, a 3-in-1 vaccine, meningitis vaccine, and should get a human papillomavirus vaccine to protect them against cancer.
Los niños en middle school y high school necesitan tener la vacuna de tétanos, difteria y tosferina, que son 3 en una, también la de meningitis para evitar la meningitis bacteriana y también la del papiloma humano, que los va a ayudar a proteger contra el cáncer.
Next slide. We talk a lot about kids getting vaccinated, but adults need to be protected against disease too. The older we get, the harder it is for our immune systems to ward off disease. So we need that added protection. Diseases like shingles and pneumococcal disease, which is a kind of pneumonia, can cause a lot of pain and anguish.
Como dije antes, los adultos también necesitan protegerse. La gente anciana, el sistema inmune está envejeciendo, entonces les cuesta protegerse contra una infección. Y hay enfermedades como la culebrilla o la neumonía bacteriana que pueden producir mucho dolor, incluso la muerte.
Next slide. One thing I wanted to share with everyone is in today's day and age, there is a lot of information, some of it good, some of it bad, about vaccines, especially on social media, and that can feel overwhelming or confusing.
Quería también compartir con ustedes que en este tiempo hay mucha información de vacunas en Internet que puede ser abrumadora o confusa. Algunas de estas informaciones son buenas y otras de estas informaciones son malas.
Next slide. A goal at the Immunization Partnership, our organization, is to make sure people are informed and knowledgeable about immunization. The first person you should talk to for any questions you have about vaccinating is your doctor. They are there to help you make informed decisions.
Uno de los objetivos de la organización a la que pertenece la señora Rekha, que es la Immunization Partnership, es estar seguros de que todos están bien informados acerca de las vacunas. Pero recuerden, la primera persona con la que deben hablar sobre vacunas es con su doctor.
Make sure to get the facts. Use information from credible places like Texas Children's Hospital or information your doctor gives you. If you read something from a website you don't recognize, be cautious and careful of that information. And of course, the Immunization Partnership is a good resource too. You can follow us on Facebook and Instagram for facts and tips.
Estén seguros de darle toda la información a su médico o médica para que los pueda ayudar, o también usen información del Hospital de Niños de Texas, Texas Children, o informarse, como habíamos dicho, de su doctor. Si lee algo de un sitio, de un website que usted no conoce, sea cauteloso porque puede ser información mala. Y finalmente también ustedes pueden obtener información sobre el programa de inmunización en Facebook, Instagram, que son plataformas donde el Immunization Partnership, ustedes lo pueden seguir a ellos en esas plataformas.
And last slide. And I hope you found this information helpful and useful. Thank you so much for the chance to talk with all of you this morning, and thank you for being proactive to achieve good health.
Y espero que hayan encontrado esta información útil y gracias por la oportunidad de hablar con todos y gracias por ser proactivos para obtener que nuestra comunidad toda tenga buena salud.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Rekha and El Salvador, for, enlightening us with, great information about immunization.
Are there any questions?
Do we have any questions from on-site attendees? Okay, let me look in the chat. Okay. All right, it looks like we don't have any questions from our on-site audience, and I'm also looking at the Q&A box from our online audience. We don't have any questions there either. So I believe that Rekha and El Salvador did an amazing job, providing much needed information out to the community. Okay, in the absence of questions, we'll go ahead and wrap up with just a few announcements. Again, I want to say thank you to everyone that has joined us today, both online and in person. We have posted the link in the chat box for our online audience to please complete the survey. Your survey and feedback is very important to us so that we would know what we need to do differently and how we can continue to provide the health education information back to the community. For community health workers, please complete the sign-in form online as well, so that way we can issue out your CE credits and also complete the program evaluation. For those that are on site, you can scan the QR code, and we have our team members who have the survey printed out, and you can also sign in on the paper form to be able to receive your CE credit.
Aquellos que están en internet pueden obtener información sobre los créditos en el QR que se ve en pantalla, y los que están aquí on site pueden hacerlo directamente o con el QR o directamente on site para obtener sus créditos.
Awesome. So here we have two exciting events coming up in the upcoming weeks. The first one is September. Some of us might be aware that September is Prostate Cancer Awareness Month. And for us at Texas Southern University, we will be having a conference titled Face-to-Face, Shoulder-to-Shoulder, Let's Talk About Prostate Cancer.
Quería hablar de dos eventos que van a venir próximamente. Uno es el 16 de septiembre, que va a ser sobre cáncer de próstata, cara a cara, hombro a hombro, y ahí tienen la información, el QR, para obtener más información sobre este evento.
During this event, we would have no-cost PSA screening available. We would also have discussion with prostate cancer survivors. So please save the dates. The flyer is currently on site. For those that are on site, pick up the flyer and share with your community. And for those that are online, please feel free to scan the QR code so that you can pre-register to be a part of the event in September.
Durante este evento va a haber screenings gratuitos sobre cáncer de próstata, y sobrevivientes van a hablar sobre el tema. Por favor, fíjense en el QR que está en pantalla, o si está on-site, puede buscar el flyer en ese lugar.
The next event we are also excited to announce is in October. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And we will have our second We Roar Against Breast Cancer event. This is going to be on Friday, October 20th on TSU campus.
Y el otro evento es el 20 de octubre, y va a ser sobre cáncer de pecho, y va a ser de 11 a 5 de la tarde en el lugar que figura ahí. Y de nuevo pueden obtener más información con el QR code que figura en pantalla.
And for this same event, also, we will be providing no-cost screening mammograms. So please feel free to pick up the flyer, scan the QR code, and be a part of this amazing event.
También en este evento van a dar screening de cáncer de mama gratuitos, así que fíjense en el QR code para obtener información sobre este evento.
And here is just the list of all the topics that we have, going on at the Community Engagement Core from June of this year all the way to May of next year. Feel free to scan the QR code so that you can be a part of our ongoing events.
Y de nuevo, ahí se muestra en pantalla el calendario de todos los eventos desde junio del 2023 a mayo del 2024. Para obtener más información también pueden acercar su teléfono, su cámara al QR code que figura en pantalla.
Well, I want to say a big thank you to our speakers, Rekha and Salvador. Thank you very much for sharing your knowledge and expertise with us this morning.
Y la doctora Kekole quiere agradecer a la señora Rekha por habernos traído esta excelente presentación.
We also want to
Thank
say a big thank you to all our team members that are there on site. We have Xiomara, we have M.H.A, we have Morgan, Cassie, Snea, and all our vendors. A big thank you to Rusio and Carla with Baker Ripley for supporting us in planning these amazing events that we have going on today.
Y también quiere agradecer a todos las personas que están participando en la organización de este evento, así como los vendedores que están aquí en Baker Ripley y en particular Baker Ripley que ofrece sus instalaciones para hacer este evento.
Awesome. And most importantly, thank you to all the community members, that took time out this morning to join us in this event. To all our vendors and partners and volunteers, we say thank you. Please enjoy the rest of the morning, network, get vaccinated, and, share the resources with yourself and with your family members. Thank you again, everybody, and we will be in touch. Thank you.